Oh, cat blasted gummit. What the? The branding. We gotta turn off the overlay. It's way at the top. Son of a. Oh, hey, buddy.
Independently digital campfire. Weird because it breaks a lot of the social grammar. Your face is very large for me right now. No. That's the point. Mine is for you too, or for the viewers. I just met you. This is inappropriate intimacy. But the thing, all of that, no, it's thrown away. Its own grammar. At Rosano, the campfires, people are lit. It's like what you have in a circle.
Right.
It's something very primordial, but it's also using it in this really novel way. Socrates is very critical. Of course, the problem with that is it's intended. You're supposed to pay attention to that. That divide has been transcended, but it's also recorded with people moving between these conversations beyond that divide. It affords something really new in how we can interact with each other.
It's a really interesting playground, kind of postmodern tendencies with trial by fire, everything goes. And also searching for the connective tissue, right? That's very well said. That's briefly being embedded within it. It's been quite wonderful to watch the direct impact it's had on individual lives.
Yeah.
At the bonfire, we can sit and play music,
Right.
And with the people who have done such good work like yourself, who've put it into the medium, filtered down into the minds and the mouths of the people, and then we gather in small groups.
Oh, this is wonderful.
And recovered gems, little moments. Aha! This is what I've been doing my life. This meta extractable point, people that I've come into contact with, take the content of this dialogue right here, one person out of 100, somehow extract that piece and transmit it across time. There are ways to see people.
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.
Remember it. We want And now, before we get to the savings throws, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important announcement, and that is of our new product, the Jury Duty Tea. Have you ever been assigned to jury duty? Well, it turns out that they don't like it when the jurors know what jury nullification is. Jury nullification occurs when the jury returns a not guilty verdict in a criminal trial, even if they believe the defendant has broken the law. And as he's seeking down there at the bottom, the not guilty verdict cannot be overturned, and the jurors cannot be punished for this verdict. So, if you find yourself in the matter of needing to, oh no, I have jury duty, and then you go and they say, all right, you're on the jury, you're on the not. I think they might say you're on the not if you wear our fancy new Jury Duty Tea, available now at the Larpgate store. All right, and now let's check in with the hive mind. Yeah, we got that. No, you only get +4 to the savings throws, no matter how many emojis you use. But you do get +2 if you mention unmuted, and +4 if you mention unmuted with an emoji, like Cassandra did there. +4, you say? Why, sir, that's it. What? Seems important based off his facial. What? What's go? Oh, yes, it is important. It's the jury duty tea. There, I like that better. All right, now, okay, so the +4 is to these savings throws, which you are about to see. What we do around here is, since you're swimming in mind control, even if you only count advertisements, is we remind you that you're swimming in mind control by giving you a savings throw against it before we give our best attempts at controlling your mind. Now, you get to choose as a basis for your savings throw against the mind control, survival, social. Wait, survival. I still haven't found that we're using the self die. Social, wisdom, or heart. If it's over 10, you take half damage. Under 10, take full damage. You got the +4 for the muting thing. That counts unless it's a nat one. We'll see. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Oh, survival is with a 13 on the 13th. Wait, there. That's back. Socialist. Never mind those bonuses. That's a nat one. Not your day. Not your day. Lovers of wisdom. Disciples for you. That's a 12. Heart folks. 10. Decimated, maybe. And prime 17 for the Indigo kids. There you go. There you go. And now, branding. Now, it has been said that by me that some of my Reaper's harvests have been terribly, terribly sloppy in the past, but today we've gone the extra mile to make sure it's nice and smooth and entertaining. Well, and the card for the show is the King of Clubs. The King of Clubs. Oh, Beholda, where are you at? Oh, you're not in this. Remember.
There is no agency. We want what's best.
Welcome to the Reaper's Harvest, Beholda'S Crop for Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. First up from Stefanie Cristos.
That the revolution has to be perpetual, that any revolution that stops anywhere becomes sclerotic and bureaucratic automatically. You have to set up a bureaucracy to protect sex from the dissolving acid of deconstruction. But everything that exists, like a coherent understanding of sex, deserves to perish, according to Goethe. But what you actually have is you see this spiral, and what it does every time it goes around is incorporates a little bit of the stuff that it picked up on the last pass. It is the recycle symbol, by the way, like literally. It's the best image you can have of the thing. It flips around, turns inside out, and goes around in a circle over and over and over again. But it's really a triangle with 3 points. And the top
and
point,
a snowball just accumulating more and more mass to itself.
Yeah. So Hegel has the top point is in the ideal realm. So he's an idealist, and he actually got a lot of his ideas from Rousseau, who was a social theorist. So the social or cultural gave way to the ideal, and the ideal, when it gave way in Marx, to the material gave way again to the social and cultural with the neo-Marxists, which gave way again to the ideal with the postmodernists and woke, which tells you that the next turn should be materialist, but we see where it's going, which is into this sustainability, degrowth, circular economy program. And you can guess where it would go next is back into a cultural program, which is obviously going to be global consciousness, because they're already laying the groundwork for a unified global cultural consciousness through the Global Citizen Initiative and so on. And you can guess where it's going to go from there is back into the ideal, but that's where they think that the singularity is going to happen. AI is going to step in and create the perfect ideal system that's perfectly understood beyond any comprehension of humans by uniting all humans within the AI and through the so-called Internet of Bodies or Internet of Minds that they want to build out by, say, 2050. So you can kind of
She titled that James Lindsay predicts the future. And next, featuring Transfigured's very own Sam, what's his face? From Reaped by Lynn. This.
What I was trying to say, and this is the best I could do. So, what I think is going on in Revelation, right? So we've got Rafiki, right, holding up Simba, right? We have his father and his mother in the background. We have animals in the sky, animals on earth, animals in the water, and like even Scar and the hyenas are like under the earth, right? So we've got all the categories. Everyone is bowing down, right? We're all singing the circle of life, and none of you watched The Lion King and thought, man, they're idolatrously worshiping Simba there, aren't they? You know, that's not right. You can't worship Simba. No, they're not worshiping Simba. This is, everyone in, the circle of life land, wherever this is coming to recognize the new king, right? Everyone bows down, songs that are appropriate, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I think Revelation 5 really is about.
And also regarding Revelation, the first one from Mosley.
I mean, how many millions of people just sat through Joe Rogan reading this passage from the book of Revelation? I think that is fascinating. And then what Duncan says, he actually connects the book of Revelation to the book of John, which I think is actually real wisdom. Duncan's not a Christian, and yet I think a lot of Christians miss the connection, not only of John's use of the Old Testament, but John, the author of the Gospel of John, is the author of Revelation. That's my interpretation. And once you see that, it helps you understand the book of Revelation. And Duncan makes that connection, which I think is fascinating.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Reaper's Harvest, where the guys and the ladies and the people on the Broken Clock Tower Discord bring a little bit of nuggets of wisdom and or interest from what they're watching to a clip stream on the Discord, and those get voted on with 7 indigo symbols. Those that got enough votes get featured on this fancy show. Next up on this fancy show, this thing.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
And Neutrino attacks the darkness when he brings us this clip.
In terms of music, each note has its own vibration, and sounds that conform to the golden ratio are pleasing to the ear, while those that don't sound like there's something off. When a wrong note is played in a symphony, even the untrained ear can recognize that there's something wrong. It seems that we're somehow programmed to understand the mathematical relationship between notes and harmonies. The first confirmed discovery of a musical instrument we have comes from around 35 to 40,000 years ago, which has been claimed by some to use the same 7-note scale we use today. The harmonic qualities of music can have a profound and beneficial effect on the human psyche. Plato said that, quote, "Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything." A sound bath is defined as a deeply immersive, full-body listening experience that intentionally uses sound to invite gentle yet powerful therapeutic and restorative processes to nurture the mind and body.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Just lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Now we got a spy over on Pajot's corner, and it's Clint, and he brings us this. this.
Where you have to have a bloody trauma before you learn something.
It's stretching. It's same as stretching physically. If you're an athlete, or as you age, you want to stay flexible. You have to practice flexibility.
And it's inscribed in Scripture. This is inscribed in the very first act of creation, where there's the 6 days of creation, the 6 days of work, and then there's the 7th day of rest, where things are supposed to settle, and then we start again. And then that manifests itself in the week, but then it manifests in the year. Usually, most traditions will have some kind of carnival where everything breaks down, like we have Purim, where it's like we spin and we get drunk and we fall down. In Christianity, we have Mardi Gras, and then
the New Year's ceremony is the death of the old year and the beginning of the new season. And
so
that's
if you have a little valve where you let things break down to a certain extent, then it avoids the massive buildup of tyranny. So you need these little cycles to avoid.
It even happens when you're fasting.
Yeah, and Clint, you get a +7 the next stream saves, because that was the 33rd minute. You also brought us this.
And in some ways, I feel like I kind of understand, especially in the moment in the time when he was writing this, how he was dealing with this. But there's a way in which, in some ways, what he's saying about these agencies and powers is something that a reductionist would say about us, about humans. He would say, there is no agency. There's only the fact there's only the actions. There's only the cells. There's only the electric impulses, in your brain, because you cannot detect true agency through material calculation. Like you can't, agency always appears above, let's say, the material facts. And so,
Whoa. Apparently, StreamYard wasn't properly showing me comments until just now. I gotta go read some. Here's this. No, Chad, you can't. Hey, lunch. Good to see you. Holden, nice you came by. There is no agency. Oh, that was a mess. How's everybody doing? We got more. We have more in our fancy pants. Reaper Harvest on today's show. Let's see, what do we have next up in that? Well, we've got one from Neutrino. Do we have two from? Yes, here's another one from Neutrino.
As in the last century, there was a huge rivalry between the herbal people, who are called eclectics, and they had their own medical schools and their own journals, and they were very active. They're the ones that brought all the American Indian herbs into Western practice. But there was a huge rivalry between them and the AMA, the medical establishment, which the medical establishment finally won for various reasons. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you could say, well, it's because at a certain point in time, all the wealthy people, Carnegie and Rockefeller and Ford, pumped all this money into Harvard and Yale and Princeton, and nobody gave any money to the herbal people.
Do you agree with that theory?
Yeah, that happened for sure.
Okay.
I mean, whether you want to call it a conspiracy or not depends on how open you are to conspiracy ideas. But
Chad doesn't want to hear about trauma, and he says, does that make me a bad person? Slack says no. There's probably plenty of other things that do, and those things are also balanced out by the things that make you a good person. Everybody's just people. Just people. Skip to the bottom. All right, I'm at the bottom. Now you cannot be traumatized. Good for you. Dead gum, says Clock Tick. Dead gum. Now, we have another one from Lynn, keeping an eye on Byrne, who was the only friend who answered my tweet where I tagged all my friends. Or not, well, punching
It's
up.
actually calling out for Satan? No. This is the problem with this music, is that it is so ironic that people who are, for instance, 80s people, 80s Christians, who'd be listening to something like this would go like, oh my God, she's praying to Satan. Not realizing, did you not hear the part where she mentioned she wants to end it all? Did you not hear that? This is a statement of despair, reaching out for hope, finding some, I think what it is hearing that kind of heroic, one of the things about Smells Like Teen Spirit is it has this heroic quality to it. It's just the chord progression. I sometimes think Nirvana found one of the last great songs there. And I really mean that. That is to say, there aren't a lot of great songs coming up. There's slick songs, there's earworms, plenty coming in the future. But great songs, no. No,
of course not. I'm about to write one, though. I mean, the shanty is pretty good, right? And here's another one from Mosley.
Elites in the federal government who believe that...
Sorry, Ben, you're your own kind of elites, okay? You're your own kind of elite. And so am I in some ways. I'm my own kind of elite. I'm an elite Christian Reformed minister. I've got a bigger social media footprint than any other Christian Reformed minister in the country, maybe in the history of the Christian Reformed Church. I am at the top of the pyramid. That pyramid. What is that pyramid worth? What do you mean worth? Money-wise? I'm living, in my opinion, I'm living very comfortably. I have a house with air conditioning. I have a wife. I have a new dog. I'll hopefully be getting out of my 2001 purple PT Cruiser soon. That would be a nice thing. But if I got to drive the PT Cruiser around, that's okay too. I just roll down the windows and listen to that little buggy rattle around until the wheels fall off, which is probably not too far away. But you know what? I am blessed. I am blessed.
Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
Now, Slacker says something very, very important. He says, I've got a feeling that shanty falls into the earworm category. If that's true, and you find yourself at some point in your life when you're not watching a stream, thinking to yourself, we all know that there is no agency, then come tell us in the comments real quick. Because if we've achieved earworm status, we get a what you call it? Cassandra's a purple PT Cruise, man, and like in the talk he did with the Unbelievable guy, he admits to having a Zune. And like if I went back in time and told myself I would be at all involved with somebody who drove a purple PT Cruiser and owned a Zune, I don't know what I'd think of myself. However, now there's a fella in the hive mind there we call Chad, and for reasons that hey, stop it. For reasons that remain very, very, very unclear to me, he's asked that we go to the bottom of the clip stream and get a fresh take from the Reaper's Harvest, and we're gonna go ahead and do it, I think. Yeah. So here it is, Chad.
I remember at one point I hated my penis for some reason.
Really?
And I remember I wanted to cut it off and mail it to Africa, to like a starving country, and they could use it for a food. Isn't that crazy to think that?
Well, maybe, but I mean, a lot of people get into very ambivalent relationships to their sexuality and to, their genitals.
Has that happened over time, you think? A lot of folks?
I think it's a perennial thing about human beings. I think human beings, right? Sex pulls us in the two directions. Sex pulls us towards the animal, the finite. We're having sex because we're finite, we're limited, we're trying to make more kids, right? But sex can also call us, and you talked about this. There's a possibility of ecstasy. There's a possibility, and you have like tantra, which is right. People understand.
It's
no. It's just an inversion. No. I don't know. I don't mean that. No. I didn't. No. No. Yeah. No. I think that's right. No.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Chad. That was beautiful. Oh. What's Chris say? I like the part where Vicky claimed Elon and Bezos were trying to have sex with the sky. You remember when all the rich people left the planet a while back? They went up to the mothership and they were like, "Oh, they're just leaving Earth's orbit." No, they're gone. Those guys are completely gone. We do have more from today's Reaper's Harvest, even better harvest next week, because we're enforcing the indigo thing so much. But, this one from Mosley. I don't think we've done this one yet.
Thing that the average viewer of news doesn't realize, and you of course would know it better than anybody, the news about public figures is almost never real. Almost never. Probably 9 out of 10 times they're leaving out the important part of the story. They might get a fact right, like if somebody died, usually right. But if it's somebody said something or was alleged to say something, in my experience, those are almost never true. I'm really puzzled.
I'm really puzzled too. Did I play the train yet? Well, even if I did. Okay, so that's all the Reaper Harvest we had prepared for us by our hardworking staff, or me, whichever. But since it's social day, I've dropped the link there in the comments if anybody wants to stop and say hi or discuss any of our fascinating clips brought to us by the Broken Clock Tower Reapers. You've played all of this. What are you going to do now, then? Well, if nobody shows up, we can talk to the hive mind. They blow, says Chad. Richmond, raptured north of Richmond. Story at 11. What? When they blow the... What do you guys... I don't even know what's going on in this place anymore. It's things... Jeepers. We'd love you too, Chad. Oh, yes, have a job, why don't you? Have a job. Well, maybe Wednesday's not the best social day. That's all the clips we have, folks. Remember to buy things. Remember to buy things. What? No, just all right. We do have this.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
Oh wait, Dolly's coming on. Probably mad at us for not covering the the her and Karen yet. We're behind schedule. Is this as real as you're gonna get, Dolly? Are you still wait? Everything
Is
okay?
everything all
there?
right in here?
Yes, Daddy.
All right. Well, we got that close to South Africa connection online. Hey. All right. I don't know. Maybe your camera will turn on when you're ready. But could you drive us on a diatribe on the No, I haven't watched the VVK Theo Von. I always have difficulties watching Theo Von, and it's just so painful the way John is leaving us that to see his legs like that, it just hurts. It just hurts. Yes, lunch. Someday you got to hook the poop. Scare the poop right out of me. Right out of me. You getting things working, Dolly? Hello? Oh, wait, she's back. There's another one. We're being surrounded.
Hello.
That one works. Welcome.
Thank you.
So
I'm not going to put my camera on because of aesthetic reasons. But it's getting dark now, so.
I see how it is. You don't want people to see the contrast. I understand. Tell me about that talk with Karen.
Well, when I was doing it with her, it was really great. It was so nice talking to her. She's such an amazing person. Yeah, her vibe and everything just like came through. And obviously we were talking like live at that point. So, yeah, but she posted that video, and to be honest, I have not watched it. I'm too scared to do that. But no, I've not even gone to the video, and I've not looked at the comments. I'm too scared to. But I'll work up the courage.
We expose
that sounds bad.
People, because we're not scared. We're not. There is no fourth wall. It's a myth. It's a myth. I've seen clips from it in the harvest room, I think, but we didn't make it that far. I got so far behind, you know. Flying spaceships takes a lot of time. Ups recommends it. Yes,
thanks, Ups. You're cool.
Our legs. I'm sorry, what?
Those used to be our legs. What does that mean?
Verveki, he's backing. He unfollowed me on Twitter, so I'm making a big deal about him evacuating the corner now that he's making the big leagues. Even though Lex was beforehand, I think it's a bigger podcast.
Why did he unfollow you?
I don't know if it was the no-no-nos or just the way I keep implying the way that Toronto is a hub for the intelligence agencies. It could be a variety of factors.
Man, you're sounding like a robot again.
Oh, well, that's not good. I just assumed that he finally got a PR team that told him that no, it's not appropriate for you to talk to that guy anymore.
Okay, Grace, I'm gonna send my love and say good.
The connection between us and South Africa is probably all jacked up. See you, Dolly. Thanks for coming in. It makes me feel successfully doing a social day when at least one person shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theo has normie audiences. Lexes are a special breed. Reptile people, as Lunch says. That's the thing, though. If you're going normie, that you better distance yourself from certain things. That is the fantastic beard. No, don't be sorry, Dolly. I mean, it's the internet between Oklahoma and South Africa. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay, so that's Reaper's Harvest for today. I'll see you guys next week and tomorrow with something that's not Reaper's Harvest, because this is what I do.